Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,834. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Woman Fox, and Mike Hawk. And the men's room. On tap today, here come the bad jokes, bitches. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted.
Click, clack, dingity dunk.
All right, here we go as we go to Indiana, where a middle school student opens fire, injuring 2. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, a man decides to shoot up a restaurant. Then a patron says, hey, screw you. To Toronto, where their restaurants prefer bombs instead. Harvey Weinstein arrested for 5 seconds before coming up with $1 million in bread. And turns out mussels and clams love the opioids as much as the rest of America. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, one thing that you can count on in this country is guns. There's just over 300 million guns owned by private citizens, so inevitably they're going to make the news. There was another school shooting, this time in Indiana, where a student opened fire at a middle school. If you've lost count, that is the 23rd school shooting this year. And we all know we're going to add to that list probably within the next 3 weeks. Our listeners on the Cat down in Oklahoma, they know all about the restaurant shooting in Oklahoma City. Now, a guy shot a grandmother and a granddaughter. They were going there to celebrate the granddaughter's birthday. The guy shoots them, and then he was shot and killed by a private citizen who met him in the parking lot and put an end to that. But those are your garden variety American gun stories. Then there's some of the stranger gun stories that we get, like in Lakewood, Washington. There's a guy that drove 18 miles before he realized that black thing that bounced into his car, yeah, it was actually a gun, and it got lodged into his bumper. He pulled over at a gas station, gets out of his car to inspect the quote-unquote damage, and there's a handgun embedded into his bumper. Oddly enough, and we'll keep track of the story, the authorities currently think someone was trying to get rid of the gun from an earlier shooting, right, trying to get rid of the evidence. It bounces out of their car and lodges into this guy. Go figure. And then there's the guy we told you earlier this week. He hid his gun in the oven, which is a bad idea when someone turns the oven on. You already know how that ended. Yeah, he got shot by, I believe, 2 bullets. Keep in mind,
in each shoulder.
It didn't fire out of the gun. The gun got hot. The bullets heated up. They shot themselves out of the gun. Not even out of the chamber. The gun basically exploded. But if you've ever been around a gun, inevitably there's probably a story with it. Sometimes it's a dumb story. Sometimes it's a scary story. But most of the time, it's going to be a story. So our question today, what happened with the gun?
Be a part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Hello, Macholas, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,834. What a large and a charged program do we have for you today. As the bad jokes on the way, we'll do the bad jokes right before we drink and toast with the shot of the day coming up, along with the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC, as Ted once again tries to get another win into the win column. So Ted versus the FCC. We'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. Another round of Profile This coming up. And today we're going to talk about guns. We have a lot of gun
Why
stories.
are my papers, man?
I'm just stealing
Why are you
your
messing
stuff.
up my stuff.
I'm sorry, man.
Come on.
I lost all my crap, and I'm going through my piles. So many piles of paper. Yeah. And so many stories today with guns as the subject, and there's all kinds of crazy stories. And if you see this picture, and this happened in Seattle, they call it a flying gun. Became lodged in a passing car along I-5 on Wednesday. The driver was headed south when he saw a black object in the air strike the front of his car, according to Trooper Guy Gill.
Guy Gill?
Guy Gill.
Is your name really Guy Gill?
I'm Guy Gill. I bet Guy Gill is a jacked man. Troopers are normally huge.
Trooper Gill is kind of famous.
Oh, is he really?
Oh, he's like the main trooper
is he the main guy?
On Twitter.
Oh, no way.
Is he?
Yeah.
He should be. His name's Guy Gill.
Trooper Gill.
Like, he's the guy, if you're like in a plane crash and there's only two of you alive, you hope it's Guy Gill. Mm-hmm. Guy Gill can fight wolves.
Yeah, I don't know
Guy
if he's
Gill
an
can
official.
Oh, here he is, right here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's an official spokesman or what, but like, if you need, like, he's always
got
on Twitter.
Really white teeth.
Is he wearing a bow tie?
Unbelievable. Look how white his teeth are.
He is. That's how the State Patrol dresses him.
Oh, no kidding.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They wear bow ties?
Yeah.
He's tweeting out Jim Carrey. This guy's crazy.
He's like Orville Redenbacher with a build.
He's a big jack dude. You can't be a trooper and be small.
But why are his teeth so white? That's kind of weird.
You know, he's got white teeth.
Maybe
he brushes?
I was going to say, no, he's probably got
brush with that charcoal stuff?
No, you got one, don't you? What's the fancy,
Sonic Care brush?
Yeah.
Oh, no, man, it takes more than that.
Miles's teeth aren't that white. You don't have yellow teeth, but they don't look like Guy Gill's teeth.
Guy Gill has great teeth.
Those are blinding teeth. Check out Guy Gill. Look at his teeth. Those are the whitest damn teeth.
It's Trooper Guy Gill. Look at him. He's got amazing teeth.
He's only got one light on his cop car.
All of a sudden,
he shines it against
all of a sudden
his teeth. That's his spotlight.
He's wondering why.
He just smiles at you and he has night vision.
Now his radio's going off and someone's going, hey, the drunks and drug addicts on the radio are talking about you, Guy Gill, and your shiny, bright teeth.
Maybe that's why they're white. He's never smoked. He doesn't drink.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Our teeth could have looked like that.
So the driver said
today, there was a question. Oh, never mind. Why are his eyes so white? He doesn't drink.
Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah.
That's why.
I didn't mean that.
No, that's why.
That was a weird one. No, he doesn't drink.
Whatever. Driver said it didn't seem to make a big impact on his car, and no warning lights came on or anything like that, so he drove on. He figured probably just bounced off or went underneath the car. So he made it about 18 miles, but when he stopped for gas in Olympia, he was surprised to find a handgun was lodged in the front bumper of his car. Now,
you should be surprised. I don't care who you are. You should be surprised if there's a handgun lodged in the bumper of your car.
Just so you know, it was facing the position where it would have shot the driver. However, there's no clip in the gun, but either way, it is going that direction. The driver called 911, and he was just kind of like everyone else, saying, "This is so strange, but I believe I struck a firearm, and it's still stuck in the front of my vehicle."
I mean, you believe it.
This according to Trooper Guy Gill, who has some of the shiniest teeth you've ever seen.
I want a quote from Guy Gill's teeth.
He should be doing what's the whitening stuff?
The crest whitening strips?
Yeah, he should be doing a commercial for them. He says it's the strangest thing he's seen in 23 years.
Stop being a cop and be a spokesmodel for crest whitening strips.
Hey, if you know Guy Gill, does he bleach those teeth? How does he get them so white? Because I'm honest.
If he says he doesn't, I think he's lying.
Because I've been thinking about doing this from years of smoking, and I drink coffee and everything else. I wouldn't mind having whiter teeth. So, Guy Gill, what is your secret?
You got pretty white teeth, though, man.
But they're not as white as I'd like. They're not as white as Guy Gill's.
Well, maybe it's just clean living for Guy.
I don't think so.
No.
I think I think secretly he's not telling you everything.
I think secretly he's going to call in. Tell you, the guy's a legend.
Yeah, is he really a legend?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. All right.
I mean, I knew his name right off the bat.
Sure you did.
And I try not to be on first name basis with too many cops.
I wonder why that is.
It's good to see you again, Ted.
Yeah, man.
It's better for both of us.
The only ones you don't want to mess with are the troopers, man, because they are huge dudes. Like, they could have beaten your ass. I mean, they're just...
And I don't know any troopers. I know a couple of city guys, a couple of county guys.
Man, my buddy's a trooper. He's an animal. I mean, he is an absolute... He's always been an animal. Like, you were scared just to look at him.
Should he be a trooper, based on what you know of him?
Oh, God, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was always that guy?
Yeah.
I have a buddy...
we did tons of drugs together, but I mean, he...
No.
Yes.
All right,
It takes one to know one.
He's not that guy.
Yeah, but you got to have a little bit... You got to know the enemy.
Shh. I don't want cops to know if I'm high.
Right.
I went to Vegas once years ago, a group of friends, and one guy got hookers. He is now a state trooper in a certain state.
Exactly. You act like they're not human. You know what I mean? Like, they have a pulse. Let's see. Gil says, strange thing he's seen in 23 years as he smiled through those white, pearly teeth. It's probably nothing I'll ever see in my career. I've never seen anything like it before. Troopers came to the scene and retrieved the gun, eventually turning over to Lakewood Police. If this was an attempt to get rid of evidence by somebody and we were able to recover it, it just goes to show you sometimes things happen for a reason. So that's possible. Somebody could have thrown the damn thing out the window. And as odd as this is, we were able to recover the firearm and turn it over to the police. It all worked out well and made a good story out of it at the same time. So no one was hurt, by the way, in any of that. They believe, Lakewood Police, when they took possession of the gun, they believe it may have been used in a shooting at a park. So that was about the same time the gun got lodged in the car's bumper. So they're tying in those two things. So, but fortunately, no one was hurt in that shooting.
By the way, Miles, I'd like you to know it's a magazine, not a clip. A clip is what the rounds come in.
You know what, man? I got to be honest with you today. I have very limited gun knowledge. So I'm
wait a minute.
I don't know. And don't ask me. Don't ask me. Do not say it out loud. The comments are coming. And look.
Right, the clip's where you put the rounds, and then you put the clip in the gun.
Look, man, I don't know. I'm just telling you what comes in. I'm just going to tell you
Ted's going to have more gun knowledge than anybody in here today.
Well,
I
just
don't
based on
have
that.
the best.
I know.
And we want to be very clear when we say this. We do not care. I can't state that any clearer. It says, my brother's a Tacoma police gang unit. He's 6'6".
See?
His partner is 7 foot even. 7
They don't even
feet
need
tall.
guns. They don't even need guns. They just need to stand there and look at you and go, I'm sorry, okay.
That's a big couple.
Yeah, exactly like that. Just take me away. That's all I want to do there.
I have a random kind of stupid gun story.
Yeah.
Is that I went to a gun range, and this is an old school gun range, right? So it's just grass, right? So everything's safe and this and that. But somebody I was there with, I don't own a gun. They had guns, and one was I want to say a 44.
Sure.
You know, what was Dirty Harry's gun?
Was it a 44?
Or a 45?
No, I thought he was 350.
Man.
I don't remember.
Man.
It's a
Don't get us
powerful
involved in
revolver,
these.
right? So my buddy's dad goes, hey, just be careful. That thing's going to kick a lot.
All right.
Sure, no problem. Like, I'm a grown man. I could shoot this gun.
Mm-hmm.
So you shoot the gun, 6 rounds, ceasefire happens, and all 6 rounds were in the dirt as I was so scared of the kickback
Right.
that I kept, like, pointing down and shooting the damn thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as guns, I mean, it's coming from Baltimore, man, and I'm not trying to minimize it. You saw guns all the time. People shot each other all the time. That's just life. But my odd interaction, I'm on a bus. There's a guy sitting in the back corner, and the bus makes a sharp turn, and his gun falls out of his waistband, right? And there's no way this guy is a card-carrying member. This is understood. So the gun hits the ground, but it slides across, and now it's in front of me. And I don't know my, hey, you dropped your illegal firearm protocol. So I'm looking at the gun, the guy's looking at me, and everyone sees it. Nobody cares, because again, where I lived at the time, whatever. So but he's not making a move to get his gun back. I'm not going to lean over and pick his ass up, because I'm like, I'm not putting my fingerprint on anything that anyone on this bus, I won't even pass a Gatorade bottle to your buddy. I don't want my fingerprints on nothing. So after a couple of seconds, man, I just took my foot and like slowly nudged it in his direction. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey man, your gun. He looks down, picks it up, his exact quote, thanks, nigga, put it back in his waistband, and that was it. Nobody said a word. It's just like, okay. All right.
I
mean, do you pick it up? What do you do? Because I want to do, pick up your gun. You see, it's right there.
I've been at parties where there's been gunfire.
Oh, sure.
And just people cleared out. No one was shot. I do. The one that I remember the most, just as far as the adrenaline rush was concerned, was when I was growing up. There was a guy who owned a lot of property beside where we all lived off a small road. And everybody's house was on this one road for the most part, but the property beside it was all of his farmland. At the bottom of the valley, there was a cow pond. And the pond was a little bit bigger, and he didn't have cows.
What is a cow pond? Just
Normally,
a watering hole?
Just a watering hole for cows. But he hadn't had cattle. He hadn't had cows in a number of years. It's fairly clean. The stream running into it was clean. Pond. Now it's a pond, and it's expanded a little bit, and now it's about the size of a lake, and it's a good-sized little pond. He put a small little dock on there with a canoe or a little boat. There were lily pads everywhere, and as this pond kind of regenerated and stuff, one of the things that he did was he stocked it with fish that he would catch in other places. He would bring back a trout, he would bring back smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, right, whatever it was, catfish, throw it in there, turtles, the whole deal. The one thing that he hated was kids, and he did not want you over there no matter what. But you could see the size of these largemouth bass, and we knew how big they were, and they were the biggest fish that never were caught.
Sure.
And so when you're 12, 13 years old, you know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, like we've got to figure out a way to get those fish. You know what I mean? We just Just we'll sneak in some rubber worms, man. We'll start casting. So we would, and at night, there's no action. Fish basically do sleep at night for the most part, unless they're bottom feeders.
Right.
So you could catch a catfish and drag something out like that, but you're not going to get any action because they can't see you know what I mean? That's not their feeding time. You have to be there during the day. So we would army crawl in. We would wear our own camo. We would army crawl in, like we're 12, 13 years old. But we're on a mission, man. You know what I mean? Like, and my one buddy had like a little pocket fisherman, like the kind that you could buy on television. You know what I mean? Like the whatever that was.
You ever want to go fishing, but you ain't got your pole?
The same people
get yourself the pocket fisherman, so just in case you get that unexpected hankering to go fishing.
Well, the way they marketed it was like from KTEL, it's like,
I know.
You're just driving down the road, you pass the street, boom, pocket fisherman, away we go.
But the commercials would be, has this happened to you? Like, damn, we can't fish in that stream we drove by.
Did you catch anything?
With the pocket fisherman?
Yeah.
Oh, my buddy, hell yeah. Yeah, they work.
Is this like a southern white pastime? Because I did the same thing when we were that age.
With a pocket
and we
fisherman?
Definitely did not break into a fish, like a hatchery, to go in and catch the biggest catfish. I will say we put them back. It was catch and release, but they were monstrous.
These things are the greatest thing ever. Now,
I did not use the pocket
fisherman. What I had a very small trout pole that was kind of like maybe an early version of an ugly stick that did, in fact, break down into two pieces. Mm-hmm. So it was very foldable. I had that thing down my leg. You'd army crawl in, you know what I mean? But the one thing was there was this tree that was right directly beside the pond, and it was a bigger tree, and it provided some cover. And once the guy figured out we were there, he would shoot a shotgun down at us in the pond. Now, keep in mind, it's maybe a couple of 100 yards, but the buckshot is not separating that much.
Right.
Like, it's hitting the tree, branches are falling down. Like, if this thing would hit you, I'm pretty sure it penetrates skin. It's probably the equivalent of being shot with like maybe 5 pellets from a pellet gun at this point.
Right.
By the time it's still buckshot. It's still from a shotgun. It's still being shot from a long way away. But it would just rain BBs.
Right.
Like you'd be sitting there like in the grass and you think, all right, what do we? Because does he have a 30-06? Does he have a double barrel? Does he have another one in the chamber? Is he reloading?
Did you actively think he was trying to kill you?
Oh, he would scream at us, get the, boom, boom. And stuff would fall down, but we didn't care, man. Like, my one buddy Pat. He was just like, so at one point in time, man, he had him. He had one of the fish in the mouth. Okay, but now he is, and now he's off the porch and he's coming down. So we're like, holy Christ! Right. So we basically, and keep in mind, man, when I say to you that he barbed wire this fence to try to keep us out, he barbed wire this fence. I mean, he barbed wire it to the point where we dug under it. We dug.
You guys,
we're 13. We got nothing to do. We just wanted these fish, right? We
you
just want to catch.
Under his
yes. He didn't have any cows. We weren't letting anything out. You know what I mean? Like, all we were doing was we just wanted to get in there. You know, like, we were almost going to do it via the stream. You know what I mean? But we didn't want to.
Why didn't you fish in the stream?
Well, the stream wasn't where the big ones were. It was just the stream that was coming out.
He just had the
pond.
big ones. All right.
Right.
Somebody should have taught y'all how to bowl.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah. So we're army crawl. I mean, but at that point in time, man, we just get up and just take off running. And so my buddy Pat, he's still got a fish on the line. He leaves his pole. We just take off running, man. And he's still firing this gun at us as he's running down. So the last sight that we see, okay, we kind of make it to a safe area. We look up, and that jackass is reeling in that fish with Pat's reeling, and then he takes the rod and reel. He throws the fish back, and he storms up the frickin', and we're like, just like, God. Because it's a big deal when you're a kid. You know, like you lose your fishing pole.
Well, yeah.
You know,
and you got to explain to your parents what happened to your fishing pole.
God, man, it was so freaked out. But the adrenaline rush. The only other time that I've had an adrenaline rush like that was, I think, when I stole like CDs from like a Kmart or something. You know what I mean? Like,
you got an adrenaline rush from stealing CDs.
Like 15
they
years
weren't
old,
chasing you, man.
Right, exactly. I know. Still, it's whatever. It was just, I don't know. I'll never forget that, man. And that actually, that place is still there. That farm's still there. Man, it might be a housing development, but I think that
the pond.
Yeah, I think that pond still exists from the people that still live in that area.
The cow pond.
The cow pond
with no cows.
What happened with the gun? 844-999-OLA.
Oh, God damn it! Hang on a second. I messed this all up. All right, there we go.
Still thinking about cow ponds.
Cow ponds.
Cow ponds.
Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I told Mike one story, but I thought of a way better one that involves the same people. Is that okay?
Oh man!
We were really counting.
Do you know? Yeah, because Mike, I don't know if you know this, man, but he's a black belt and he'll kill you if he sees you in person.
All right, I can tell the first story. It's a little anticlimactic.
Little known fact about Mike: he's homicidal.
Yeah, and he does not like when people do that.
Okay,
he's an animal.
All we have to do is tell him you're a primate.
That's right. Yeah. So what happened with the gun?
I did not take him for that kind of guy.
Right.
Okay, so I was at a house party. While I was still a teenager, there was a lot of minors there, and all of a sudden we see cop lights outside of the door, and we're thinking, oh, it's us. They're coming. And so all the minors just dip out the back door and jump a fence. We're in some field. We're running out back there, and then come to find out they were across the street. So we go back, and one of the guys that was with us had a gun in his back pocket or in his backpack, and he says he lost his clip. Sorry, I'm walking around and doing stuff right now. And we're looking around for his clip. We're looking for his clip. We find his clip. So what does he want to do now? Bust a couple rounds off in the backyard, like there isn't still cops across the street.
He started shooting in the backyard of the house with cops across the street.
He wanted to so bad. We had to stop him. Like it was like an ongoing thing all night. Are you sure I can't bust up a couple shots in the backyard?
How dumb is this guy?
Dude, no.
Is he still stupid?
Is he still alive? Or is his decision making?
Yes.
He is alive.
Yeah,
that's a miracle.
He's alive. I wouldn't say well, but.
Okay, I was going to say that's not.
Well, what do you mean not well? What has gone wrong?
Meth, I believe.
See, now that changes the entire story. All right.
He sounds like a product of his decision making.
Exactly. What happened with the gun? 844-9990. Oh, I mean the guy on meth. All right, well, that explains
the guy who wanted to shoot his gun across the street from the cops.
Jesus Christ.
He decided to hook up on
We
meth.
knew we were going to be getting some of this today. It's not always the smart people that own them, you know.
Good God, man.
All right, Mario Calls coming up with our question, what happened with the gun? You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
As a drone hovered near his home on Monday night, a Florida man sought to bring down the aerial intruder by firing 7 shots from his 9mm handgun, according to the police. Wilmer Yanes spotted the drone flying above his Bradenton residence. Upon returning to the property around 6, the drone, Yanes told the police, dropped to within feet of the ground before then shooting back up into the sky. Yanes added that he waved his hands at the camera-equipped drone, indicated that he wanted its operator to fly the drone away from his home. Yanes, who is a Honduran native and runs a construction firm, said that he was fearful for the safety of his family and worried that a, quote, psycho may have been trying to watch his 16-year-old daughter. I'm so very protective of my kid. With the drone continuing to stalk his property, Yanes attempted to shoot it down from the sky, aimed at the drone with a 9mm firearm for which Yanes said he has a permit. The homeowner squeezed off 7 shots, but none hit the drone. Yanes subsequently called 911 to report that he tried to shoot down the drone since he was in fear of his family's privacy. Cops determined that the drone was being flown by a neighbor who was properly licensed by the FAA. The drone operator, who claimed that he did not know his drone was shot at all, denied flying the device over Yanes' property. A patrolman educated Yanes on the proper use of a handgun and told the homeowner that the shooting of a drone was not legal. Yanes appears to have escaped arrest since, as police notes, at this time, no one witnessed the incident, and it's not that big of a deal.
But see, I appreciate their stance.
I do, too.
Because we always say, like, look, man, there's more laws in America than any other country, and that's fine. One of the problem is, a lot of time, honestly, you don't know that you're breaking a law. So from this guy's perspective, I'm on my private property. Here's your thing. I get it.
It's above my home.
If I had a gun, I'd shoot at it, too. I have no question about that.
I try to throw something at it to knock it down.
But if the cops showed up and said, hey, man, that's not legal, I would definitely apologize, but I could tell them honestly, like, look, I didn't know, because to me, this is something on my property.
It is legal.
It should be.
If you're on your property and somebody I want to say Montana might be a state where you can... Like, exactly what you're saying. Like, if it's over your property.
It's over your property.
I'm trying to knock it down with a football like Uncle Rio.
Sure.
Then pee on the
Rico.
then pee on the GoPro. You know what I mean? Like, and then yeah, there you go.
You would get busted for illegal, what is it, indecent exposure.
The aristocrats. Yeah. It was a 15-year-old who was flying that drone.
See, that's what would have, like, oh, God. And you pulled out your penis to pee on it.
You peed on it, and you flipped off that camera.
Now you're a registered sex offender.
Exactly. What happened with a gun?
Because you peed on a drone.
844-999-OLA.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yep.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola, bitches.
Hola.
Hey, so my story takes place in the apartment. My mom owns an apartment in Everett, and I had just bought a Glock 23. I was very proud of this firearm. And just so you guys know, my mom hates guns. She's very anti-firearms. So I bring it over to her house to show my sister. And as I'm showing it off and letting everybody hold it, my mom's telling me, Mike, you've never been safe with firearms. I wish you wouldn't bring it over. Something's going to happen. You're going to shoot yourself or somebody else. And towards the end of the night, things are winding down. I'm getting ready to leave, and I go to pull it out to show it to her one last time. And as I do so, I'm telling her how safe I am and how careful I am with this gun. And as I pull it off, it's about 6 inches from my face, and it goes off. And I end up shooting the cabinet just to the left of us, full of her nice china.
Oh, no. How many times do I have to tell you, Mike? God.
And what is her, because the whole thing is, that the thing that makes all of this worse, in case you didn't know, having been there, is that she just told you this. She had just said, hey, man, you have not been responsible for firearms. Please don't bring this. So what is her response when inevitably you prove her right?
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever been around a gun when it goes off, especially right in front of you, but it's loud.
Yes.
So initially, none of us are saying anything. We're holding our ears.
Yeah.
And, my immediate response is to begin to apologize and control the situation. So as soon as I figured out I didn't shoot myself or anybody else, I actually ran out of the apartment to the next door neighbor's house.
Oh, yeah.
To run up the little steps.
Yeah, didn't go through.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was really worried. So I knock on her door. I'm freaking out. It's about midnight. And she comes to the door totally bewildered. She has no idea what this crazy guy's doing at her front door. And it tells me, no, I didn't hear a gun go off. What are you talking about? And I have to explain. Oh, I'm sorry to wake you up. Yeah. I just shot my gun off downstairs.
Oh, nothing.
Okay, good. Yeah. Listen, I just fired my gun in your direction. Cool. You cool?
I think
cool.
Mom's track into something there, huh?
Yeah.
It's almost like the parent knows, right? What happened with a gun? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up here in seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.